Hello boys and girls, today we begin with lesson 25. Today is Monday and we begin with our last story for this textbook. And the title of our story, our main story, is going to be The New Friend. And we're also going to do symbols of our country again. So here we go, we're going to start with the sight words. Our first word, boys and girls, is city. And it says they moved to the city from the country. So here we have the word city. That's number one. Let's take a look at number two now. So number two is myself. It's like a compound word, right? Like a mini compound word. My is one word, self is another one. And then it says I took the box into the house all by myself. Let's go ahead and move on to number three. Number three is school. He met many new friends at school. Alright, let's see number four. Number four is party. Yay! They had a party for their new classmate. And here we have another compound word, classmate, right? Alright, so let's move on to number five. Number five is seven. It's a number. Seven. Number seven. She will bring 7 apples to school. Do you want to count them with me? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 apples. Alright. Our next one is buy. She will buy a plant for her friend. Number 7. Please. Always say please and thank you, right? Please play with us, they said. Looks like they don't want to share, right? Alright, number 8. Family. They invited the family to come in. Such a happy reunion, right? Alright, boys and girls, so let's move on to our next page. Okay, so on this lesson, we are going to focus on a reading strategy that is called understanding characters. And it says, remember that you can learn a lot about what story characters are like from their words and actions. Use what the characters say and do as clues. Figure it out how they feel and why they act the way they do. You can list the clues or text evidence on a chart. And here we can see the chart. We have words, actions, and feelings. Those are the things that we can see throughout the story on characters. So let's move on to our preview the topic. Here's when we're gonna have a little taste of what the main story is gonna be about. Let's take a look at the entire page, and I'll show you the flags in a bit. It says, we live in the United States of America. This is the name of our country, United States of America. People have come to this country from all over the world. You learn about our country at school. And now through videos, right? You can read books about our country too. You will read about a boy who moves to the United States in The New Friend. That's the title of our story. So he's gonna be just like us, right? Because we all, well, most of us, we moved to this country. Okay, and you can see flags from some other countries, right? Because we know this flag is from the United States of America. Alright, boys and girls. So here we go. Before we get into the story, The New Friend, I want to read with you about the author and the illustrator. Because every story has an author and also an illustrator. So we're going to begin with the author. And her name is Maria Puncel. And this is Maria Puncel lives in Spain. She writes her books in Spanish. Many of them have been translated into English, including El Amigo Nuevo. So the New Friend is nothing else but this book that she already wrote in Spanish. She actually wrote it in Spanish first, and it's El Amigo Nuevo. Alright, so here we have the illustrator. The illustrator is the person who draws the picture or the photographs for the story. In this case, boys and girls, what do you think? Are these pictures or are these photographs? These are pictures, right? Someone drew these pictures. And it was him. His name is Ed Martinez. And it says Ed Martinez grew up with a painter in the family. No wonder he learned how to draw, right? His father was an artist. As a boy, Mr. Martinez got started by drawing horses. Now, he draws pictures for magazines and books. Alright, boys and girls, so let's move on to the story. Now we can finally get into the story. And this is one of my favorite stories. Because he has a bunch of kids, just like you. So, boys and girls, what do you think? Is this fiction? Is this like make-believe? Or is this non-fiction? Could this happen for real? Well, I can see 4 children. And they're dressed just the same way most of you dress. So I say that this is not make-believe. But we will see. Alright? So let's begin reading. It says, Martin, Luis, and I lived in the city. Next door was an old house. No one had lived there for a long time. I wonder what these people are doing. Alright, let's go see. One day, a work crew came with pails and brushes. They started to wash and paint the empty house. So what these people are doing is that they are working on fixing the house, right? And I want you to look at it. Look, the kids are looking at the house. And I want you to remember something. When we began reading the story, it says Martin, Luis, and I. So there's 3. There's Martin, there's Luis, and there's I. And there are 3 boys here. So that means that one of them is telling the story. So we're reading the story through one of these 3 boys. Let's see if we can find out who I is. Alright, so let's continue. It says, after they were done and the paint had dried, the house looked pretty and new. The next day, a big truck pulled up. It was full of crates and boxes. A crew unloaded the boxes off the truck. A new family would soon live there. And I want you to take a look at the picture. Because once again, there's someone, one of these 3 boys is telling the story. But we don't know who it is yet. We'll see. We know that one of them is Martin, another one is Luis, and then the other boy is the one telling the story. And look at these people working. They're unloading a truck. And they're moving boxes inside the house. Alright, today Luis went over to the house next door. He met a boy called Makoto. Then we all met Makoto. Makoto was 7 years old, just like us. And just like you, boys and girls. I think all of you are 7 years old now. Alright, so let's take a look. So this is Luis. So now we know that the boy in blue, his name is Luis. So let's see who's telling the story. We'll find out soon, because we have 2 more boys over here. So one of them has to be Martin, and the other one is the one telling the story. Alright, so someone looks through the window to see who it is that is knocking on the door. Before long, we found out that Makoto played soccer. He could keep running and running. He was good at learning things too. He learned all of our names by the end of the game. What type of game are they playing? Looks like they are playing soccer, right? And here we have Luis, and I think this one is gonna be Makoto. This one over here. Alright, so let's continue reading. Soon, Makoto's family was all moved in. We met his mother and father. They were glad that Makoto had made some new friends. And if you look at the picture, mom and dad, they look like they're smiling, right? So they're happy that Makoto is not all alone. They're happy that Makoto have new friends. Let's take a look at the picture, at the picture of the kids. I think this one is gonna be Makoto now. Makoto has a special name, boys and girls. He has a different name. We're not used to hear kids that have that name, right? Makoto. And it's because he comes from another country. We're gonna see now. But the kids are playing together, you see? So they look happy. Alright, so let's see what's gonna happen now. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to read the page before. Let's see where mom and dad are going to. While Makoto's mother and father went to buy food, there you go. Makoto stayed and played with us. And now we can turn the page. When Makoto's mother and father rejoined us, Martin, Makoto, and I helped them carry the bags into the house. Makoto said he would show us around his house. Then we went up to look at Makoto's room. Ooh. Okay, so they are becoming really good friends. Look at it. All the boys help mom and dad bring in the groceries in. And now Makoto's gonna show his new friends his room. Let's see what happened. Makoto still had a lot of boxes to unpack. He had some nice toys and kites. He said that on the next windy day, we could bring his kites outside and fly them. He said I could fly a kite by myself. Look at it. He has a really nice room. And the kite, there's one kite over here, and this is another kite. Oh, look at all those boxes. All right, let's see. Okay, then we went outside to look at Makoto's pictures. from Japan. He had them in a green book. So this is his book of pictures, right? And you can see pictures of kids playing soccer, of two people hugging. Oh, maybe these were some of Makoto's friends, right? And this is how his other house in Japan looked like. And that was probably Makoto when he was a baby. Look at Makoto. Makoto is very proud of showing his family pictures. I don't want to skip any pages. Oh, cookies, yummy. Let's see what's going to happen now. At the end of the day, Makoto's mother and father repaid us for helping with cookies. We said please and thank you and ate up. Yummy cookies. Makoto's father said he had a new job in the city. Makoto would be going to our school. We were all glad about that. And I bet Makoto was glad about that, right? Because imagine being to a new country and also to a new school. That's so much stress. Oh, look at the family. Mom and Dad look very happy again. And it looks like the boys are listening to the stories. I wonder what happened to the other boy. I don't see him there. Oh, because there were only two. Okay. Okay, so here we have them finally saying goodbye. I don't think there are any words. No, right? There are no words here. Okay. So it looks like Makoto is saying goodbye. But they won't meet again at school because they're going to go to the same school. We said goodbye to Makoto and his mother and father. Then we went home to our families. We were glad to have a new friend next door. Alright, boys and girls, and that was that last page of our story. But I want you to go with me to our next story. So it's the shorter one. Here we go. So now we are going to take a look at our informational text. And it's symbols of our country. And it's funny because I wish I had this story when we learn about symbols in social studies, right? But we had another lesson during that week. Okay, so let's begin reading. And if you go to the bottom, let's go to the bottom. It says, we live in the United States of America. This city is Washington, D.C. It is the capital of the United States. You can see and learn a lot here. Let's go. All right. That's the city, right? That's Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. And you can see the capital over there. What else can you see? I can see Abraham Lincoln's monument. All right, here we go. American flag. Here we can see the flag. It says, the flag is a symbol of the United States. The red and white stripes stand for the first 13 states. The stars stand for each state that is part of the United States now. So if you remember, when we looked at the different pictures of the flag of the United States, at the beginning the stars were arranged in a circle, and there were less stars, right? Nowadays there are 50 because now we have 50 states. Let's continue reading. We're gonna read about Washington Monument, and this is George Washington. All right, so let's see. We're gonna make something very special about George Washington this week. George Washington was our first president. This tall building is named for him. This painting of George Washington is in the White House. So that's actually a painting. And this big building is called the Washington Monument. My kids, one of my girls actually, she likes to say that it looks like a pencil. But it's actually a building, and you can go inside and go up. Alright, so let's take a look at the next one. Our next symbol is the Lincoln Memorial. So these are landmarks. But inside this landmark, you go up the stairs, and inside you can find the Abraham Lincoln statue. And you can see some pictures here, some kids here who took their picture in front of the statue. And it says Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president. He was the president number 16 of the United States. You can see his statue at the Lincoln Memorial. So this is the Lincoln Memorial. You have to go up the stairs, and inside this big building is this humongous statue. It's a really big statue, right? Okay, let's see now. Here we go. We have the White House now. And you can see the White House. Sometimes you can see it on the news too, right? Who lives in the White House? Do you remember? The president. Very good. The president works and lives here. People from all states vote for the person they want to be president. So this is the White House. This is the only building in the United States that cannot be painted in any other color. Because if you paint it blue, it's not going to be the White House anymore. It's going to be the blue house, right? And we want the White House to remain white. All right, here we go. This is the Capitol building. And it says voters from each state elect people to represent them. This is where they make laws. And finally, we have the Supreme Court building. And it says, judges work here. They decide how laws should be followed. And we have the Constitution to help them with that. All right, and finally, we have this beautiful mountain, boys and girls. It's Mount Rushmore. And it's here where you can see some of the presidents of the United States. Here we go. It says, you can see symbols of our country all over the United States. We are very proud of our country. Here we can see Liberty Bell. It was one of our math lessons. And here we can see the Statue of Liberty. We learned about her also a couple weeks ago. Alright, boys and girls. So I'm going to stop the video now. And I want you to rewatch this video every day. This is the story, the main story. Actually, this is the second story. But this is the video where the stories are. So I want you to watch this video every day. Before you get into the workbook pages, you watch this video. Alright, boys and girls. See you later for the workbook pages then. Bye.